Yo, what is up, everyone? Let me know if my audio is coming through all right. Hey, what's up? Let's see here. All right, everything's looking good on my end, so please go ahead and drop a message in the chat if you can hear me. Awesome, Kevin. Thank you for confirming. Sweet. Yeah, so we're just gonna be hanging out tonight. Any questions that you have, feel free to drop them in the chat. We can talk about Q4, Black Friday, general stuff, whatever you need help with. I'm gonna be streaming here for about 30 minutes, so anything that I can help you out with, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Looks like we got 3 people here watching. Go ahead and drop a message so I know who's here. It's posted in the Discord as well. All right, so Kevin says, "Do you do a lot of FBM this time of year?" So I have in past years. I haven't been doing a ton of FBM right now. Probably as we get closer to Christmas, though, I'm gonna be switching to FBM because if there's stuff that I wanna ensure that the customer is gonna get by Christmas, at some point, I'm not gonna be sending that FBA anymore. I would say we're getting pretty close to that. If you have any items that, need to get there by Christmas, I would say definitely by the end of this month, stop sending an FBA and start switching towards FBM. What is up, Cisco? Thanks for stopping by. Tandy, what's up? Kick Central, yo, how's it going? Zora, what's up? I believe we have a coaching call later this week. Looking forward to that. Kick Central says, "What repricer do you use?" So currently, I'm with a company called Seller Snap. In my opinion, they're the best on the market. They're the best that I've used. They're not beginner friendly though. They're not for small sellers. I would say a good time to switch to them is when you're selling around 20 to 25,000 a month. Reason for that is because you're able to get in on their accelerator program at half off, plus use an affiliate code from someone else, and that brings the price down to really like 65% off. Their full price is 500 bucks a month, so it's very expensive, and that's why I say it's not for smaller or newer sellers. But it definitely, once you have the numbers, revenue to support it, it's very worthwhile. They use AI repricing, so they're using game theory to study the listings, make sure that the prices aren't tanking. They're targeting an equal buy box share among sellers. They have other features like they don't price and reduce profit ranges. So just from those features alone, it's gonna more than make up for its high fee. Kevin says, "I canceled my Be Cool subscription today. We'll probably check out Aura." Yes, absolutely. Aura is the one that I would recommend until you're at that level, where Seller Snap is gonna be good for you. I used to work for a while. I really like the salt rule based pricer. Can we get more content? Absolutely. Gonna be pumping it out. I'm actually filming a few new YouTube videos, hoping to be posting more regularly. Have you used Be Cool and/or Aura? So what do you prefer? So I like Aura. Um, I'm not a big fan of Be Cool, but to be fair, I only used it for a short period of time, like a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't super impressed, I didn't like their customer service or how the repricer performed, and I had good experience with Aura, great customer service. They were always willing to hop on a call and help you set up whatever you needed. So I recommend Aura until you're at the level for Seller Snap. Logan, when you become the next Mr. Beast or Grant Cardone, are you going to forget about your followers? Might be Mr. Beast one day. I would say that's definitely an aspiration, and of course, I remember all the G followers. Dope. Yeah, yeah. What are you using right now, Kick Central? Are you using a repricer? Let me know who you're with. And also, now is a good time if you're not with a repricer to set it up because we know that there's going to be a ton of sales on like Turkey 5, Black Friday through Cyber Monday. So you're going to be having a lot of volume that you want to capture. And if you're not with a repricer, just sign up with some free trials right now. A lot of them will give you like a free week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month. And let's say they offer a free week trial. You can message them and say, "Hey, I'm kind of on the fence still after this first week. Can you extend it for another week just so I can get a better feel?" Almost always they're gonna do it, so just take advantage of that, And even if you can't afford a repricer right now, you wanna be getting one over Turkey 5, so sign up for those free trials if you can't afford it. Yeah, Aura is an awesome company. I'm a big fan. Kevin says, "I have quite a few yellow triangles in inventory, page inventory lab. Do you deal with that?" So, what is the yellow triangle telling you is happening? Because I'm assuming that's just some kinda error message. Is there any kind of, like, description on that yellow triangle that tells you what it is? Do you utilize a prep center? Any tips and suggestions on when to invest in one? Yeah, so we pretty much all of our stuff goes to a prep center. I have a few wholesale companies that prep and ship directly for me, and then I send just a little bit of stuff to my house. But for the most part, we're all shipping into a couple different prep centers that I work with. Highly recommend it. I would say prep is one of the first things that you need to outsource. That's going to be either a prep center or it's going to be you hiring that on maybe you have a friend or a cousin or whatever, someone that you can bring in to just do some prep for you. You need to make this switch whenever you are not able to spend more money on inventory because of the time that prep is taking up. So that's like the main thing is the time that it's taking you. You need to be able to outsource that so you can focus on higher ROI tasks. Also, if you're in a taxed state, just look at the cost of your inventory. So if you're in a state where you're paying 10% tax, for example, let's say you spend $50 on a pair of shoes. 10% on that $50 pair of shoes is going to be $5 in taxes that you're paying. But the prep center might only charge you a buck 50, $2, maybe three for shoes. Either way, you're gonna be saving money by sending to a tax-free state. So run the numbers and more importantly, look at the time value there. That's when I recommend switching to a prep center. Candy says, "I started working for a company that has 5,000 plus SKUs on Amazon. That's awesome. I've been tasked with onboarding a pricer. What's the best for enterprise level?" It's a good question. Yeah, congrats on working with that company. That's really cool. So, I mean, I would say Seller Snap. I think they're really well. And I know they have like enterprise level solutions. So yeah, I would look into them. Also, Scott Needham, the smartest seller, I think he has like a custom made thing that's for enterprise level Amazon sellers. So you might want to reach out to him. It's at the smartest seller on Instagram. He's a really big seller and smart guy. So talk to him. But from my experience, I would also reach out to sellers now. Kevin says, "Do you plan to increase your wholesale business?" Absolutely. I spent a crazy amount of money today on wholesale. Like it's absolutely insane. And yeah, we're planning on expanding that more and more. It's so much easier to place a large order with wholesale rather than, spending smaller amounts with all these different sites that are going to cancel your orders, ban your accounts, whatever. Online arbitrage is awesome and we're not going to abandon it anytime soon, but we are shifting more and more into wholesale and we're going to be expanding that route. They built my pricing strategy for me after I told them I mostly sell shoes. The last couple weeks, I decided to diversify. I've been kinda slow the last couple weeks, but I feel like that's normal. Yeah, that's cool. Able to build something custom just for shoes. Right on. Kevin says, "Do you feel 2023 will be a bigger year for you or about the same?" Bigger. Yeah, so looking where I was at the beginning of the year, where I'm at the end of this year, and we're not really slowing down. Let's say the growth stops here. I don't grow my business anymore. We're still at least 6x times from where I was at the beginning of the year, and that's with no more growth. So, in January of this year, I pushed out like 40 grand. This month, I'll probably, land a little over 200, and I would say I'll hit at least 300 next month. So that's I don't know, 8x or something in a year, and then if the growth just stops there, we're still 8x from where I was at the beginning of the year. So 2023 is definitely gonna be a lot bigger even if I don't grow a lot. Logan, do you plan to come out with any services soon? I was actually thinking about a few ideas today. I don't know if they're gonna come into fruition, but, uh I had questions in my Discord about accounting and taxes and things like that, so I thought about maybe partnering with some CPAs to bring an accounting or tax service to Amazon sellers. So that's one idea I had. I always have tons of different ideas. And then I'm working on a course that's teaching people how to outsource. It's not for beginners, it's not for people wanting to look into getting Amazon. It's gonna be geared towards people who are ready to make that transition to outsourcing aspects of their business to either be able to grow it or just get back more of their time. So that course will probably drop in a couple months, probably early Q1 of next year. And yeah, it's really just geared towards teaching people how to outsource their business and get more of their time back. For your Q4 goals, yeah, I kinda just went over it in the, kind of the growth rate, so I'm hoping to be able to put up at least 300,000 in December, next month, and yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be my 300 if I did 300,000, that would be about how much I did last year in revenue. I think I did just over 300 last year, so yeah, that'd be really cool to be able to do in a month what I did in a year last year. Have you noticed increase of velocity and scale by switching to wholesale? Have you noticed increase of velocity and scale? Um, I think so, if I'm understanding your question. So, yeah, like, we're able to scale faster with wholesale because I'm able to spend money faster. So, I literally spent just today on a couple wholesale products, $50,000 on wholesale today, which is absolutely insane. Or my wholesale spend today will end up being sorry, my online arbitrage spend today will end up being around 15,000 or so. So, yeah, we're able to definitely scale more with wholesale because I'm able to spend so much money faster. I had a claim that some Nike shoes I sold were fake. I submitted as much info as I could, but Amazon said not enough info. Any tips? Yeah, so, really what you can do is close the case, try and resubmit. You can try annotating it, showing the ASIN and whatever. Sometimes you just get Amazon reps that aren't gonna accept it, and really the only thing to do is keep trying. But I use a company to manage my account health, and they're able to get pretty much everything taken care of for me. So once you're at that level, I would recommend, going with a company like that, but again, kind of expensive. I'm not sure where you're at in terms of monthly volume, but generally, they're gonna charge you 500 to $800 a month to manage your account health for you. But for now, I would say close that case, just try and reopen it, resubmit that info. Maybe there's different forms of your receipt. Maybe you have, like, an order detail email, maybe you have a downloadable PDF straight from the site. Try just different ways, I guess. You link your cool glasses. These are Swanwick glasses, highly recommend. They block out the blue light, from your screen and help have better sleep at night. And sleep is the foundation to everything. About how much profit on the 300K? Good question. So, last month I had just under a 10% profit margin. It was like 9.8. So let's say I have a 10% profit margin on that 300K, it would be 30,000. But I think my margins are gonna be increasing. I don't know if by next month we'll be there, but definitely a few months into Q or into next year, we'll be at closer to a 15%. Most of my inventory I bought today was a 17% gross margin, so obviously that's a lot more than 10, and if I could hit that 15% on the 30K, that would be 45,000 net, but I would say conservatively at least 30,000 net profit. How do you track your net worth? I really don't, but I guess I would just kinda look at all my assets, which is pretty much just inventory minus, any liabilities. Yeah, I don't really watch my net worth. Curious if we will start seeing more leads on Toys on Wolf? It's a good question. Yeah, so the Wolf is one of my lead lists. I will drop a link. If anyone's looking for online arbitrage leads, we send these out every single day, Monday through Friday. Check it out. It's a really good way to get online arbitrage leads. Um, yeah, I don't know. If we start finding more toys, things that are like on sale for Black Friday, we might post those. But honestly, a lot of the times when toys go on sale for Black Friday, they're just gonna tank because everyone's buying them. So, yeah. You might be, just mentioning toys because everyone, like, wants to focus on toys during Q4 around this time of year, but yeah, toys are selling more, but everything sells more. There's a paradigm shift. We generally see, like, close to double the volume on listings generally, around this time during Q4. It's not just toys, everything's selling fast. Cisco, I'm curious, how do you track your net worth? We know you're a multi-billionaire. How do you keep track of it all? Great question. Kick Central says, "Are there key indicators on Keepa that let you know if a price is going to tank?" Yes. So we don't want to be buying items that are gonna tank, obviously, and some red flags that we would watch out for are, 1, is the price tanking? If it is, we're not gonna buy that product. 2, something that can kinda help us get ahead is if the offer count is going up. So if the offer count's going up, the velocity is generally staying the same. That means the supply is going up, the demand's staying there, so the price is gonna go down. Anytime we see a big influx of sellers, almost anytime we've seen a big influx of sellers, we're not gonna buy that product. There are some, certain exceptions, like if we see the seller count rising, but they all just have 1 or 2 units in stock, I'm not super concerned if the velocity is good, or maybe there's other signs, but generally, if there's a big influx of sellers, we're gonna assume the price is tanking, and we're gonna avoid. For Q4 and we buy more than 3 to 5 units per item. Yeah, so, Kevin's probably referring to kinda my test order process. Generally, when I'm looking at a new ASIN, I'm buying 3 to 5 units for an initial test order, which is, pretty low compared to what a lot of other sellers will recommend, but I do that because I wanna make sure there's not any issues on Amazon's backend that I can't see. I don't wanna buy 50 units of something on a test order and then see a dog page. I don't wanna find out that it's one of those items that everything looks fine, but you can't send it FBA for whatever reason. I wanna just have a small test order to make sure everything's good, and then I'll increase it from there. For Q4, I'm still sticking to around the 3 to 5, but I have been going a little bit bigger, maybe a size 8 on an initial test order, just because I know the velocity is gonna be really good. But generally still, even though we're in Q4, I think small test orders are the way to go. Any insights for finding more credit cards, credit limits, wholesalers? Yeah, so these are all different ways. Wholesalers would be like if you can get net terms with your suppliers, which is awesome. I have one supplier, for example, where I can buy the product, they'll ship it to me, and then I have 30 days after they ship it to actually pay for it. And depending on the items, I could sell them and have the money back for it, potentially before I even have to pay for it, which is awesome. So you can try and get net terms. Generally, you need to build a relationship with your supplier, show them some money, show that you're gonna be placing consistent orders, and then you can ask for net terms. Maybe start with net 10 or net 15 and then work your way up from there. As far as other types of credit, you can go with credit cards, line of credit from your bank. These are both things that I've done. Amazon lending can be a good opportunity. I would recommend starting with some credit cards, good with American Express Plum Card, because you're gonna have longer time to repay that. They have 60-day repayment terms and also a technically no hard, cap. So, the more you spend with them and the more you pay back, the higher your limit is gonna go. Sounds good, Cisco. Not in the billions yet, but that's the goal. Hashtag dope boys. Guys, if you're not following yet, I haven't posted anything about it, but Cisco, Josh, and I, we have a podcast, the Doughboys podcast. We have one episode out, and I will post the link here. Go check out our podcast. It's going to be talking all things Amazon and business. Kevin tracks his net worth in a spreadsheet. Awesome. What do the little triangles on the Keep It graphs mean? I heard a sale, but I'm not sure if that's true. Little triangles on a Cupid graph. I don't think I have that enabled because I don't really see little triangles. But let me open up a Cupid graph real quick. Let me click through and I can probably tell you pretty fast. Yeah, I have pretty much everything disabled on my Keepa. I have sales rank, buy box, offer count, review count. That's it. If a buy box is suppressed, then I'll turn on third party FBA. See. Okay, yeah, so there's little orange triangles that are new third-party FBA. Is that what you're talking about, Kick Central? Let me know, and I can definitely explain that because we do look at that data point. Yeah, I'll assume that's what it is. If I'm wrong, just correct me. But the new third-party FBA price is essentially what is the lowest FBA price, and we think that this is a really important metric to look at in the event that there's no buy box. So sometimes you'll have the buy box toggled on Keepa, and there's just no line there. That's because Amazon has suppressed the buy box, and there's no buy box on the Amazon page. Why do they do this? Generally because they think the price is too high. Could just be a glitch though, but generally it's because they think the price is too high. You can lower your price and try and re-trigger a buy box, or you can just wait it out and sometimes it'll fix itself. But when there's no buy box, then we have that new third party FBA triangles on, and we're just basing our price based on the low FBA offer. So if there's no buy box, it's suppressed, and then there's a low FBA offer at 20 bucks, we're gonna act as though we can sell that product for $20 instead of what the buy box would be. And yeah. Kevin says, "Do you wait until the last day in your cycle to pay off your credit card?" Good question. I have another video I can link here. It talks about how I manage my credit card cycle. Let me grab that link for you. So after this video, definitely after this live, definitely go and check out this video. It talks about my credit, how I handle it. But essentially, we have about I have 2 cards that I use, and halfway through each cycle, I stop using each card and then switch to the other one. And then whenever the statement resets, I'll go back and start using that one again. That way, I have at least 5 weeks to repay, but generally 7 or 8, because I'm resetting. And then, yeah, we're just making payments on that card every few days really to pay down the balance. Yeah, definitely go check out that video after this live, and it'll explain it a lot better. I actually have, like, a calendar that I pull up and everything. Yep, of course. Have you ever taken out a loan to buy inventory? Yeah. So I've gotten a loan from Amazon before, nothing super crazy, but they've loaned me some money before. And then I also have a line of credit from my bank, but again, it's a pretty small line of credit. I'm hoping to be able to expand that. But yeah, I've gotten Amazon lending, a line of credit from my bank, and then leveraging credit on my credit cards, especially with something like the Plum, where I have a long time to pay it back. Those are definitely all great options and worthwhile, but make sure you really know what you're doing before you start leveraging credit. I was, selling for 18 months really before I started leveraging credit. Yeah, so make sure you have some experience and you really know what you're doing, because you don't wanna make a purchase on leverage, money if you can potentially make mistakes. And also make sure you're conservative. Make sure you're looking at the lowest price that you're gonna sell it for, going wide, not deep. All these just precautions whenever you're leveraging debt. Which credit cards do you use? I have a lot of credit cards. I think I'm up to 14, maybe 13. But the ones that I actively use, my personal credit card is the Capital One Venture, awesome card, 2% unlimited back in miles. And then my business cards are I use the Amex Plum and Platinum for inventory, and I use the Amex Gold for all my operating expenses. And I also use Capital One Spark 2% back for inventory. And our the Platinum and Spark are our 2 primary cards, and I'm using the Plum on, like, larger wholesale orders that I need more time to sell through. Kevin says, "You use a service to train your sourcing VAs?" No, I do not. We have them all trained in-house. Thankfully, I have an awesome team, and my manager and PR specialist are able to do a lot of the onboarding and training for me. But we have access to a couple courses, YouTube videos that we link to them, but also for the, like, in-person training, it's all done in-house. We have a system set up to where we're onboarded, then, like, for the first week, we're more hands-on with them, training, spend time with them. But yeah, everything is done in-house, and that's all part of outsourcing everything. At what point do you think a VA is necessary? I think a VA is necessary whenever you don't have enough time to spend your money. So whenever you have more money to spend than you do time to find leads, then you need to start looking into 8 ways that you can get leads quicker. Maybe that's a leads list, maybe that's getting a product research VA, but whatever it is, whenever you have more money than time, you need to be looking for ways to spend more of your money. You should have already outsourced your prep, so next you need to outsource your sourcing and hire a VA. I got a VA, just under 2 years into the game. Yeah. So at the beginning of this year in January, whenever I got my first product research VA. Honestly, I should have done it sooner, but that's just when I did it. But whenever you need more leads, then you have money to spend. All right, we'll go for about 4 more minutes. So yeah, let me know any more questions. Kevin said, "Have you heard anything about Michaela's new prep center?" No, I haven't. She sent me some info on it, and she posted about it. It seems like it's going well, but no, I haven't heard any like reviews or how things are going too much. But it seems like it's going well from what I can see. When did you get a prep center? It's a good question. When did I get a prep center? I would say not too long after I started online arbitrage. Probably 2 months after I started online arbitrage, so I didn't wait super long. But I started online arbitrage, really focusing on it a little over a year into the game. So let's say close to a year and a half after I started is when I got a prep center. But if I had been doing online arbitrage sooner, I would have got a prep center sooner. I was doing retail arbitrage, so I didn't really need a prep center. How did you vet them? Yeah, so I was in a private Discord group, and they came in the owner of the prep center came in and did, like, a call with us and just talked about his service. They were endorsed by the group that I was in, and, yeah, we just started off sending them, a couple 100 units just to test them out for the first month, and then from there, scaled it as I knew that I could trust them and they were, reputable. I would definitely anytime you're gonna get with a prep center, though, get on the phone with them. Talk to them, make sure that they seem like they're legit, ask tons of questions, and also look for reviews from other people who have used them. Everyone in the Amazon community will be very loud and vocal about it if they had a bad experience with the prep center, so you'll be able to find the bad reviews if they're there, and you don't wanna do that. No, I'm not. I didn't have any problems with them, it's just I was heading in a different way for a while. I would still be with them, honestly, if they had a spot, but they're completely full. Their prep center absolutely exploded. The reason I left is because I started my own prep center, so we kind of transitioned things into house, and then unfortunately, due to staffing issues, we had to shut down our own prep center. We got acquired by another one that's different than my first one. So now I'm with the new company that acquired us, but yeah. I would definitely still be with that first one if we hadn't tried to start our own initially, which was a really good experience, but it just didn't work out. Kick Central is private label something you will do in the future? Yeah, for sure. So I've actually been spending a lot of time looking into private label, looking into a couple programs that can help me get there faster. And then also I've been watching tons of YouTube videos about private label lately. I definitely want to add that to the mix at some point. Probably early next year, I'll launch my first private label product. What is a good price per item for a prep center? So, if you're gonna be going to a tax-free prep center, which you should, I would recommend looking for one that has a flat rate. So, some prep centers will advertise $1 per item, but then they're gonna charge you 25 cents a poly bag, 30 cents a bubble wrap, $5 a box, and all these little fees. I would rather just find someone that tells me it's gonna be $1.75 a unit, whatever, flat rate, all inclusive. I would recommend you go that way. And for tax-free prep, I would say you're generally gonna see between $1.75 and $2 a unit for standard units, and then generally they add $1 for a bundle, so if it's a bundle, 275 roughly, and then shoes are anywhere from 2 to $3 as well. How do you vet a VA and how do you give them access to your account? Great question. I need to make a detailed video on this because I get asked all the time. It's a good question, Sean. So I'll quickly just walk through our whole hiring process for virtual assistants. We use onlinejobs.ph. We throw up a job posting, basically telling them what the job is, online arbitrage product research, and then we ask them to submit their resume and everything. If we like the resume, uh, we also ask them to give us their favorite food also in the job description. So when you submit your resume, tell us your favorite food at the very top. If they don't tell us their favorite food at the very top, we'll just delete everything. We don't look at it. Do this for a couple reasons. One, we want to make sure that they're detail oriented. If they're not focusing on details now when they're supposed to be at their best, they're not going to be focusing on details when they actually have the job. And two, you're literally going to get hundreds of applications in a week. and maybe if not even in a few days. So you need to be able to have something to go through those faster. If we like that, then we send them a sample test. Basic questions like, "Which one of these keyword charts sells faster? Here's an Amazon page, go find the source. Here's a source page, go find the Amazon page." If we like their answers on that test, then we're scheduling an interview with them. If they crush the interview, we wanna hire them, awesome, they get a 30-day probation period. And after that, we just wanna see that they're consistently finding us leads, and then, keep going. And then for giving them access to our account, we use something called LastPass to share all our tools like Keepa or RevSeller with them, and then for the Seller Central access, we just grant them user permissions. You can send like an invite and then give them limited access to your Seller Central. Yep, Kick Central said, "Could you explain how a prep center works? Not too familiar with them." Absolutely. And then we're just gonna take a couple more questions after this. So if you have any final questions, go ahead and drop those because we're gonna be ending up in just a few minutes. How a prep center works is it's super simple. It's a lot more, seems kind of more confusing than it is. But you just order your inventory, you ship it to your prep center and set up to your house. The prep center is going to receive your inventory, they're going to prep it, they're going to box it up, they're going to ship it into Amazon for you. A good prep center will handle everything for you outside of you ordering the inventory and sending it to them. They'll handle the rest. Some prep centers will make you, like, send them labels and all that. Don't do business with those prep centers. The reason you're with the prep center is to save your time, so the prep center should be doing everything for you. But really for communication, you're just purchasing it and putting it into a spreadsheet, and then whenever they receive the inventory, they're gonna go into the spreadsheet. Let's say you ordered 5, they're gonna mark they received 5, or they received 4 and 1 was damaged, or they received 3, they're still expecting 2, whatever. They're just gonna put in the spreadsheet what they received and what they shipped, and then from there, they'll bill you for whatever, the shipment was. Alright, any final questions? Last call for any questions. If you got anything at all, drop it in the chat. Go 30 more seconds. If you got any more questions. Yeah, besides that, I just talked to a CPA for Amazon, so we're gonna be doing a live call with her so that she can answer all of your accounting and tax questions as we head into the end of the year and start preparing for tax season. If you're not in my Discord, go join that so we can talk about when's gonna be a good time for that, interview with the CPA. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone for stopping by. We'll, see you on the next one. Peace out. Have a good night.